So, if you haven't heard already, Michael Porter Jr. is out for the season with a back injury. It's going to require surgery. He's somebody that has struggled with back injuries in the past. It's why he fell to the 14th overall pick in the draft when, he was a top 2 guy coming out of high school. I think if he doesn't struggle with injuries in college, he goes first overall maybe. You may be saying, oh, but he clearly wasn't better than Luka. Well, even though Luka was by far the best player in that class, anyone that watched knew, he didn't go first overall. So I think there's a good chance without the injuries, Michael Porter Jr. goes first to second overall. And, that obviously didn't happen. Fell to 14th overall. And even though I feel like even in hindsight, 14 was a bit too low, it's not good still. That's the reason why. There are other reasons I'm not going to get into. But, it's just not good. To have back problems like this at this young of an age, and consistently have them is just not great to say the least. He wasn't having a good season to begin with. I do wonder if the back injury was playing a factor. It was awesome his second year. Had a really good 3-point shooting season. I thought he was a most improved player candidate. I thought he could get to 25 points per game, 10 rebounds maybe. Put up absurd shooting numbers like he did. He was a near 50-40, well, not near because the free throw numbers weren't good. And, I thought he was going to be back on track to being that guy that I saw in high school, which is, from high school, the best scoring prospect I've ever evaluated. But you look at the season, it wasn't good. The rebounding was good. He did show more passing flashes, I will say that. The passing flashes were better this season, but the scoring just wasn't good at all. He wasn't hitting shots that he usually hits. He wasn't even hitting free throws at the rate that you would expect him to. But what does this mean moving forward for Denver? Obviously Michael Porter Jr. was one of their big 3 pieces, him, Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic. Murray is still out. I still don't know the timetable for his return. So we don't know that. Nikola Jokic has been in and out of the lineup, questionable with a wrist injury. How long is he going to be out? PJ Dozier's out with injury. PJ Dozier's been a bit disappointing, but he's still kind of an important player for them. And then you lose, Michael Porter Jr. probably for the rest of the season, from what I've heard. And it just doesn't look good, Murray probably comes back. Jokic, I'm pretty sure will come back. But even with Jokic being as good as they're, how good will this Nuggets team be? Right now, they're 9-10. They're 10th in the West. And, they could. I think Jokic is good enough. Jokic is a fantastic player. One of the best offensive bigs ever. I think he can carry this team to the playoffs. I still do, even without Michael Porter Jr., assuming Jamal Murray comes back. Even with, the adjustment Murray will have to make. So, you have that. Now, other than that, Barton's a solid player as well. He's actually been pretty good this season. But I think if they are to make the playoffs, it's going to be in a playing situation more than likely. They aren't a clear-cut playoff team. If anything for Jokic, this probably reminds me, and I'm not saying they're similar players, but think of Dwayne Wade's 2009 season, where, they're a fringe playoff team with Wade there. But Wade is just so incredible that he carries them to the playoffs. I think it's going to be something like that. Because I think Jokic is capable of it. He's that good. But it's not a guarantee. I do think there's a chance they pick in the lottery. I do think there's a chance they miss the playoffs without Jokic. Without Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray probably coming back. And probably not being the same player right away off the injuries. My guess is slightly above 500, maybe. It depends on when Jokic comes back. They play Miami, then they have Orlando. I'm getting to look at the schedules to see how they're going to do. Because this all does depend on the schedule in my eyes. So they play Miami. It depends on if Jokic plays. If Jokic doesn't play, I don't think they're going to win. Then they play, because they played them tonight. They play Orlando next. I think they probably win even without Jokic. But if Jokic is there, definitely it's a win. New York's going to be a tough battle. Chicago's going to be tough. New Orleans, I don't know. It could go either way. New Orleans is kind of an odd team right now. I think they get wins against San Antonio. San Antonio's not a good team. Washington could go either way. Minnesota could go either way. Minnesota's playing really good basketball right now. Atlanta could go either way. Atlanta's playing really good basketball. Brooklyn, probably not. I probably would take Brooklyn over Denver. I think they should beat OKC. Charlotte could go either way. Clippers could go either way. I don't think they can take the Warriors at all. Houston should be a win. But really, I guess the point is, like, there's a lot of ones that go either way. Some I don't think they're gonna win, and like, a few that I think like they should win. So it just depends. Like, you get to play the games, obviously, and we will only know when, you know, the games are played, what will happen. But, you know, we'll see how much longer Jokic is out. We'll see how much longer, I got the wrong thing, wow. We'll see how much longer, you know, Jamal Murray's out, how he comes back. But right now, it doesn't look good in Denver. I wouldn't be like, oh, it's over. Oh, I forgot to mention Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's actually been pretty good in the role that he plays. As good, like, this defender that can somewhat score. But, you know, other than that, like, it's a good enough team to make the playoffs if Jokic can stay healthy. But I don't know if they'll make it, just because I feel, it just feels like, if I had to make a prediction, if Jokic comes back, which I highly doubt that he won't come back. Like, this isn't like a serious injury in my opinion. Like, from what I've seen, it doesn't look serious, and it looks like he will come back. He's been listed as day to day. So he's going to come back. Aaron Gordon plays the way he does. And even with Michael Porter Jr. And say Jamal Murray comes back in like early to mid-January. And he plays solid, takes a bit of time to come back, but once he starts getting going, like, he can somewhat be what he was before the injury. Like, if that goes well, there are like a 6-7 seed. But at the same time, 7 seed still means you have to play in the play-in tournament. And anything could happen in the play-in tournament. So, we'll see how it goes. It sucks for Michael Porter Jr. Even though he wasn't having a good season, to say the least, to start out. Like, it was only 9 games that he played. And, you know, when Michael Porter Jr. is healthy and he's playing well, he's like a very key piece for this Denver Nuggets team. One of the bright young players in the league. You know, somebody I think profiles as like a potential all-time great shooter. And you don't like seeing injuries to young players with promise. And that's kind of been the story of Michael Porter Jr.'s career, has been the injuries. But just wanted to make a quick video talking about this. I don't know how long this video is. I don't have the timer up right now, but it could be longer, it could be shorter. But yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about it, but have a nice day.